finished the entry of Anava. We're up to all the way to Yirat Achet. It is the fear of sin. So what is that? He says, "Hine re'otin hamida azot nimnit me'achar kol hamidot tovot shezacharnu ad hena." So finally, fear of sin is after, we said that person's careful not to do sins, and then he has rizut, and he's quick to do the mitzvot, then he's a hasid, and then he's anav, and then all these kind of things. Finally, we get to here where we are, Yirat Het, fear of sin. He says, just to show you how far you have to work to get to finally the place of status of Yirat Het, of fearful of sin. And you cannot master this until you get after all those character traits we mentioned before. Amnam, he says, however, really there's two types of fear, and the second one is divided into two. So what's the first one? The first one's pretty easy, and the second one's harder to get. The first one is what? Yirat ha'onish, fear of punishment. Right? Some people, they hear these lectures. Whoever doesn't keep Shabbat, mehalalei mot yumat. Whoever doesn't keep Shabbat, surely shall be put to death. You get sikila, you get karet, you'll burn Genam, and this and that. And you hear these things, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. Wait. And you say, I have to. You tell your wife, Slish, you hear what happens to the guy who does this, Oh my goodness, wait. And you get all nervous, and that's it. Stop. I'm not going to do these things anymore. I'm scared of the punishment. So that's called fear of Hashem, fear of sin. But that's just the beginning level. It's not the end level, right? And then there's high level, which is fear of the reverence from the divine majesty, which means you have awe. Awe is like, you realize how great Hashem is, and how could I do this against him? It's more of a disappointing Hashem, not more like he's going to do something to me. Because what's the problem? Let's say if you only have the fear of punishment, let's say, someone who does this, that's their punishment? Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that punishment, no problem. I'll deal with that. I'll suffer their punishment. I want to do the sin. So what did that have to be Yirat Shamayim help you? That Yirat Chet didn't really save you, right? But if you have Yirat Ramut, where you don't want to disappoint Hashem, so that always applies. You never want to disappoint Hashem in any way, right? So therefore, it'll help you with more protecting yourself from more sins, right? Yirat ha'onesh kipshuta. Fear of punishment is very simple. Adam yireh me'avor pi Hashem elokav pnei ha'onashim asher la'averot. He's scared to do against the will of Hashem because Hashem's going to punish him. Im legufi im lenefesh, whether physically, whether to your soul. This is very simple because it's very easy to attain. Because Adam ohev et atzmo, a person loves himself. Yireh lefsho, he's scared for his soul, and therefore anything that's going to hurt you, you don't want to come close to. But says the Mesat Shari, this is good yirat to have. En yirat zo reuya ela le'amei haaretz. This type of fear is good for the simple people. Am haaretz, the guy who doesn't know anything from anything. Ve'nashim, to women who do not study so much Torah and don't know the depths of the oral law. Asher da'atan kala, that they're very easily swayed and seduced to do sin. Right, so therefore they need the punishment to hold them down, But the person who's a chacham, he should not stay on the primitive level of fear of sin. People who observe tshuva, they watch YouTube videos. Let's say they watch shiurim online. They hear all these heebie-jeebie scary stuff about what happens if you do that, what happens in olam haba. That's great. It's good. A lot of people observe tshuva, but they have to grow. You have to grow more because what happens if you stay there? First of all, you're in a lot of you look at a person can misconstrue Hashem's punishments as like Hashem is a scary figure in Shamayim looking. You didn't do halacha here. You didn't do halacha there. Now I get to smack you. Now I get to punish you. And you look at Hashem like someone you have to always avoid and hide and shouldn't strike me down for something I did wrong. And religion becomes like a nervousness. Religion becomes like a just. Will I survive this marathon? Just, he fulfilled the mitzvah. He's like, oh, thank God, I'm not going to get punished. Oh, thank God, I did the mitzvah. Where's the love and where's the dveikut and where's the cleaving to Hashem and excited towards the mitzvah? God forbid this could turn people off. People could run away and say, hey, these punishments and these sins and these laws, and I can't stand that anymore. Chaz v'shalom. And also, more than that, a lot of people hear these punishments, they get turned off. They just can't hear it. They say that what you told me now makes me not want to keep the mitzvah. I want to stay away from all this. I run away from all this. They can't hear it. They can't hear it. Some of these shiurim online, they hear that they like turn it off. I don't want to hear this. I'm not connected to this. It's not for everybody. And also, you could say, well, you can't deny the truth. The truth is, if you drink poison, you'll die. So what do you want from? Yeah, but when you're trying to inspire somebody and they're barely keeping anything from anything. That's not how you start. You have to start with inspiration, and then you eventually tell them this if they're ready to hear it, and they have to take it. This is you talk about Gehinnom, right? The Shit Chochma, right? You study the Sefer Shit Chochma. He has a whole description of what Gehinnom is, all the levels of Gehinnom, all this stuff. That's supposed to inspire you to not to do sins, not to depress you and say. And then you have a guy who says, "Oh, Rabbi, we're all going to Gehinnom anyway, so might as well, let's might as well enjoy this life. Let's throw on more sins. Gehinnom should be anyway." So a person gets demoralized. A person gets no motivation anymore because of these yirat onish. So that's also not good. But then more than that, it's a style. People chozeh b'tshuva only with yirat onish. They're very nervous type and very negative type. They're always looking and picking and they could come off because they hear about judgment and punishments all day, and then they pass on. Meaning they hear the lecturer saying, "Oh, you're going to do this, you're going to get this punishment." They think they can talk like that to other people. So then they go to another person. He tells his wife, "Here, you're going to go to Gehinnom, you're going to burn, you're going to this, you're going to that." He goes to a friend in the street. He says, "Oh, you didn't do this. You know what's going to happen to you." So this guy looks like a nutcase running around telling everybody they're going to Gehinnom and they're all going to burn and they're all going to this and all of that. And you have to realize the lecturer and the rabbi who could teach like that, fine, he's inspiring you, but it doesn't mean that this what you repeat what he said will inspire him. So you have to know that you can't just go and repeat rinse, wash, and repeat what you heard. You have to know if the person's ready for it. But again, like the Mitzvot Yesharim says, this is the beginner level. It's good to start like this, and you wake up. Some people they weren't religious at all. They got a reality check. The world got shocked. And it got shook, and I had made teshuvah. Fine. So I started keeping the mitzvah because I'm scared. But now you have to go up and grow up and get the level of Yirat HaRobimut, which is the Rambam. We learned the Rambam in the Sefer Ahava. He says that you have to get to a level where you love Hashem and you don't want to disappoint Him. It's like a man who has a love of his life. He goes out of his way and chases her and does whatever it is to make her happy. Or a person, He loves his father, right? He goes out of his way to please him and to do whatever he needs. That type of relationship we have to develop with Hashem. And until then, we're not on the level of real Yirat Chet. Just having Yirat Onish is not the full level of Yirat Chet, and that's what it is. Sha'adam yirchak min ha'chataim lo yaseh mipnei kvodo hagadol she'yitbarach shemo. He says the real fear of sin is not to do a sin because out of the kavod for Hashem. The kavod for Hashem. Imagine a son and a father. Father's 7 years old. The son is 40 years old. Why would a son listen to the father? What, the father's going to beat him up? So the father can do something to hurt him? He's going to do what? He's going to be disappointed in him. That's why he has kavod Hashem, kavod of his father. So too kavod Hashem. Baruch Me'olam.